Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome to the live stream. How are we all doing? You got a little preview of me there before I got my game face on. How's it going? How's it going? It's so nice to be back. It's nice to be back live again. We've got chill music. We've got colored lights. We've got nice vibes. You know the rules. Let me know how. Let me know how the music levels are. If it's too loud for you or too soft. I've got some nice, relaxed tunes for us on the stream. If it's your first time in the chat, hello. I can see you all in the chat. Hi. I'll talk about my look in a moment. But if it's your first time on the stream, as it is for, oh my gosh, people are scrolling past so fast. Rasholnikov, welcome. It's your first time. Hello. It's nice to have you here. Double extra special nice if it's your first time on the stream. Regulars from the stream will know that we always like to make sure that the chat is a nice place. And if there are any super chats, then I always do my best to shout them out. If you're gonna ask me a question on a super chat, then it's always a good idea to make it a short one because they tend to fly past quite fast. Hello to TJ Nuggets as well. It's your first time. The other thing that first timers and the pigeon conjecture. Welcome. The other thing we like to do at the start of the stream is we like to light a scented candle, and tonight's scent is warm woods. Apparently this candle also makes noise as well. It has it's like a crackly noise, so it'll probably just sound like old lo-fi, but here we go. And I will turn the music up if you can't hear it, because it's nice music. Here we go. It's also very soft, this particular track, so don't worry, it'll kick in. Keep checking in though. Here we go. Oh, there's the crackling. There we are. Lovely. Be able to hear that crackling away in the background. Thank you very much, Rumour. That's a kind comment. So yes, tonight's look. I got a red lace dress, which I'm still not entirely sold on. I also have my far too big eyelashes because I don't have any like moderate eyelashes at the moment. I've only got like tiny baby ones, which are smaller than my real lashes because my real lashes are luckily quite big. And then these sort of ridiculous big drag race ones. So I had to go with the big ones. The background is actually gold. I've just lit it in red light. So red and gold are our colors tonight. And I've got my gold earrings on as well. And my gold necklaces, not real gold, obviously. But anyway, yes, thank you very much for coming along. My mic is echoing a bit. I think that's just because the room is quite echoey, but don't worry. Don't worry, there's usually some kind of despite my best efforts to make this stream live, professional and slick, there's usually some kind of horrible technical issues. But yes, there will be a little bit of echo just because that's the room I'm in, unfortunately. Yes, Zeal Pharrell is nice. Is right that lashes always come in mild, moderate, or severe. So yeah. I have turned the music up, so I think I know what's happened. Okay. I think probably the music is coming through the wrong thing. I don't know how to route it through VLC, so maybe I'll just turn that. I'll turn the music off, and it's just going to be for me, because I don't know how to make the music come through the right tubes in the computer. So I think that just means you'll still be able to hear my voice, but we might just have to do without music tonight, unless somebody can tell me what device I need to click in Streamlabs to make it pump VLC down the thing. So anyway, there's always some kind of technical problem. But anyway, the most important thing is that we're all here and that we are that we are here and we're going to talk about the last video that I made. Okay, good. Nice. The last video that I made was, what did I eventually call it? Is Art Meaningless was the title I eventually settled on. So yeah, I changed the title and the thumbnail a few times because as we'll talk about, it kind of underperformed a little bit initially and then just took a little while to get up for reasons we'll discuss. But yeah, the last video that I made was, and I should be able to show it to you. Fingers crossed for the technical issues. Yes! Yes! Here it is. Thank you so much to Paul Sidhu for that super chat. That's really kind of you. Thank you for being you. So the last video I made, the eventual title that I settled on was Is Art Meaningless? And we talked a little bit about the philosophy of art. It did have like 4 titles, Spring Meadow, for reasons I will explain. So I'll talk about what I thought about the video and how it was made, and then we will talk about comments and like what people's responses to it were. Long-time viewers of the streams will know that after a video comes out, I have my criteria for when I'm happy with it. And those criteria are, is it made from curiosity, not ambition? Is it my unique creative vision? And was it made out of compassion for myself and others? So starting with number 2, is it my unique creative vision? Yes, I think it is. Like dressing up as a bunch of famous paintings, I thought that was very fun. Filming some of it in the Tate Britain as well, that was a lot of fun. I went out with Sophie from Mars and we filmed a little bit inside an art museum, which I really, really like. Doing the portrait of Madame X and like choosing the Picasso stuff, I really loved. This shot was included specifically for Shannon Strucci. Shannon, I hope that you like it. It's because I saw somebody commenting under their Twitter thread about what do you like to see in video essays, and somebody said, I really love it when people use the editing to like tell a story, and I was like, so this is what I did with that. So I liked doing the Picasso one. Salvatore Mundi as well, I really enjoyed that. That was a really fun look. And then there was look number 4, which will let's talk about this look now actually. So originally the plan was, this was the one that kind of blew up the most on Twitter and that people kind of really went gaga for. Originally, the plan was to just do Madame X, then Picasso, then Jesus, and then come back to Picasso again for the final one. But on the day, Brian, the Philosophy Tube stylist, turned up with all these extra clothes that you can see in the shot here, and also this outfit, which arrived kind of late. And so I kind of, and Brian was like, look, it's a shame that we've got all these clothes and we can't use them. And I was like, yeah, I suppose let's, so I kind of rejigged the script a little bit. And it just so happened that there were parts in the script where I was talking about clothes and Macbeth and fashion. And I was like, okay, let's just insert a 4th look, just kind of out of nowhere. And Nikki, the makeup artist, was like, oh yeah, fine. It's like somewhere between the Jesus one and the Picasso one. So obviously we don't film them in the order that you saw them. On the day we filmed the Jesus one, there's Alfred Molina. I'll talk about him later on too. So we started with the Jesus one, then we started with Madame XY, then we did Jesus, then we did Fashionista, and then lastly we did the Picasso one. So the 4th look kind of just came out of nowhere. Also, I want you to bear in mind that, so originally Brian, Philosophy Tube stylist, approached me with a pitch for the Picasso look, and he pitched me and said, this is what it's going to be and this is what it's going to cost. And for the first time ever, I had to tell Brian, this is too much. This is too extravagant, too out there, and also like too expensive. Brian quoted me, I think it was like 5 figures, like some ridiculous, like tens of thousands of pounds for this like custom Picasso dress. And I was like, Brian, this is silly. Like I can't possibly afford this. I know that your designer is great and that you want to work with them, but I just don't think we can justify that kind of expense. And he was like, okay, so I want you to bear in mind that this 4th look that you're looking at right now, this is Brian's idea of toning it down. This is what Brian, when I said to Brian, can you take it away and do less? This is what Brian came back with. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. I never really thought orange was my color. But it went really, really well. And Nikki, when Nikki, the makeup artist, saw the completed look and saw me sitting in the chair, she said, you look like the ultimate influencer. And I was like, yes, I've never wanted anything more. So yeah, that's fun. Esther Holt, I did mention NFTs at one point. Yeah, I did. Ooh, little fly. I did briefly talk about them. So yeah. So yes, that was Brian's. I couldn't morally or financially justify spending like tens of thousands of pounds on a custom dress. So was it my unique creative vision? Yes, I think it was. Was it made out of compassion for myself and others? Yes, I think it was. I don't think I was like... In fact, I think this one in particular, like, kind of got a little bit more personal than it sometimes does with me. Like, Rothko and my sort of being bemused about Rothko and feeling like I should get it, like all the bits that I was talking about here in this section, that's all true. Like, that's all my real feelings. So I got a little bit more personal than I normally do. And I think it was made out of compassion for myself. And when I talk about this fear of missing out and missing and like saying the wrong thing, that's like a genuine insecurity on my part. So that was nice. And it did start from a place of like genuine curiosity about Rothko and like wanting to get it. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, but then was it made from curiosity, not ambition? This is a tough one, because on the one hand, yes, it was a topic I was curious about, and I did follow the curiosity in making it. But on the other hand, I also kind of designed it. I was like, oh, I want to design like a hit video. So I think the original title was something like, it was like, can you be wrong about art? Or like, I just tried to not make it clickbait, but I tried to like play the game a little bit more with YouTube. And it was interesting that it didn't work. According to YouTube, at least, the video underperformed in terms of analytics. I think part of that is because the last one overperformed, so it's like recalibrated, and now it's like, oh, you didn't do as well as last time, and I'm like, well, yeah. So I think it's sitting under, it's like 463,000 views at the moment, which is like, decent for a first week. Doesn't set the world on fire. So part of it is I think the last one did really well. Part of it is because the philosophy of art just like not that relatable or shareable, and apparently just not really what my audience are massively interested in, which, okay, fair enough, like lesson learned. I was chatting to a few other YouTubers as well, and they're like, yeah, like talking about the philosophy of art doesn't tend to do very well. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I was, and also part of that is the August slump. Analytics always take a bit of a dive in August because people are outside. But yeah, it underperformed relative to my last few videos, and it kind of ruined my weekend. I woke up on the Saturday morning and I was, really, really down and really upset about it. And then I sort of reflected, and I think it was a good reminder that I started Philosophy Tube for education and not for clout. So it was nice. It was a nice lesson to learn. And what was also nice is that everyone who knows me in real life who watches my videos was like, oh yeah, I really like this. This one was one of your best in a long time. So that was nice. DJ Doc's video says, honestly, it's not a topic that makes me instantly watch. Yeah, fair enough. Like, I think the video is good, and I'm proud of it. But I understand that it's not, like not everyone's, thing that they jump to. And what was actually interesting is that the video underperformed in the first couple of days, but then kind of picked up, which suggests that people were like, okay, I don't want to watch this right now, but I want to watch it because it's Abigail and I'll save it. So I was like, okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, I guess it's more of a sleeper hit, more of a slow burn than a kind of, oh my God, I gotta watch this straight away, which fair enough. So yeah, all my friends who watch it in real life said that they really enjoyed it, which was nice. And also, it turns out Alfred Molina is a friend of a friend, and apparently he's really cool in real life. Somebody who I know told me the Monday after it came out, and they're like, oh yeah, Fred, like, yeah, he's a really cool guy. I'm glad you like him. And I was like, oh my God, that's so weird that you know him. There was something else that I did with this video too, which is that you might have noticed, how usually I open up by saying, hello, my name is Abigail, welcome to Philosophy Tube, this is what we're doing, and there's like an intro section. I didn't do that this time. So originally, and we even filmed this, originally there was a whole introductory section that we shot in the art gallery, which originally, like, this bit was a lot longer and there was more, not this bit was a lot longer and there was soy face, this bit was a lot longer, and the audio wasn't very good, first of all, because we filmed it on a phone in an art gallery, guerrilla style. But also, it just like, it took too long to get to the point. And I was like, are viewers really going to sit down and watch 2 or 3 minutes of me explaining Rothko if they don't know who I am and they don't know who Rothko are? Like, what's the hook? People are just going to click away. And so I changed it, and I got straight to the point, and I jumped right in with Madame X. And I thought, okay, what's the hook? The hook is pretty girl. That's what the hook is going to be. Hook is bam, boom. Here's a hot lady. I'm going to tell you about art. And it's kind of an old trick, but hey, it worked because my retention rate increased. Analytics told me, was like, hey, Analytics told me that people were watching it for longer and people were like not clicking away as much. So I was like, okay, fine. So yeah, that was good. So overall, I'm reasonably pleased with this one. Even if I usually have one every year where I'm like, well, this is like one of my faves, even if it didn't do so well. And that was what this one was for me, at least. Michaela says it worked, not gonna lie. Hey, there you go. I should do that more in future, I think. By the way, if anyone out there, I'm really enjoying listening to this music that I have playing. If anyone out there knows how to do the kind of like what device to pump it down, let me know. How do I make loop back? How do I make loop back play music? What device do I have to pipe it through? I've got default built-in microphone, Scarlett Solo, which is my preamp, the webcam, or I show you audio capture, and those are my options. But hey, we'll see. I'm just drinking water for the moment. I do have some wine for later. Once I get through all the kind of prepared material, then I'll have some wine. Oh, thank you, college companion. Alex Cowell says the art nerd in me was very happy. Oh yeah, cool. I'm glad that you liked it. It was good fun. And Dragonfly says I rewatched it 3 times. Yeah, I think it's fun. Do I have Stream Deck? I'm on Streamlabs desktop. Yeah. Oh well. Finster, is that you for real? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm getting advice on streaming from Finster. Default is desktop background, so that. I mean, okay. I mean, if Finster says it, I believe it. Okay. Let me know if you can hear the music and what kind of quality it is. Keep checking in. Also, Finster, is that really you for real, Finster? Because if it is, I will instantly make you a mod. That's so fucking cool. Welcome. Maggie Jackson says, "What art gallery did you shoot at?" We went to the Tate Britain, me and Sophie from Mars, and we just did it guerrilla style. And the security guard was starting to raise an eyebrow, and we were like, "Well done, goodbye." But yeah. Oh my god. People in the chat are starstruck. Like, I'm fucking starstruck. Hi, Finster. How you doing? Come on the pod. Come on the stream anytime, babe. Yeah, see, I've gone echoey again. It's not gonna do it. Because default, for some reason, is like, it's looping the music through here. So it seems you're wrong, Finster. Sorry about that. Oh well. But that's what I thought about the video. Now, let's do what you are never supposed to do, which is to look at the comments. So. So, oh yeah, Katie says that we thought the Rothkos were in the Tate Modern. Have they moved? Yeah, so did we. We went to the Tate Modern and we were like, hi, can we see the Rothkos? And they're like, no, they've moved to the Tate Britain. So we had to fucking walk 30 minutes down the river to the Tate Britain, which was, Neo Zygmunt, how are you feeling about the show? Oh, we'll talk about the show later on, don't worry. But spoilers, very, very excited. A gutted Finster, tech support skills are lacking. Here we go. But let me add you as a mod, Finster. There you go, boom. Just a big fan of all your work. Love it. Oh, it's not that Finster. Well, okay. Oh well. A Finster. A Finster. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm so tired because I've been rehearsing all week. Anyway, Hey Non-Anonymous left this really interesting comment where they asked, if we were to display the Seagram murals in a way that was counter to what Rothko intended, then would it still be the same work of art? And this is a really interesting question. It kind of touches on the issue of what is the definition of art, which is a very fascinating but sort of slightly separate philosophical question, though there is kind of a bit of overlap. And it would sort of depend on whether you think the art is the physical object, or whether you think the art is in Rothko's head, or whether you think that it's in the heads of the audience. Those are all theories that have been floated. Now we've got 2 Finsters in the chat. So, I mean, one of you's got to be, I'll just make you both a mod, and one of you's got to be the real Finster. So, okay. There we are. Welcome to... Welcome, Finster. It's really good to have both of you here. God, 2 Finsters. Dream come true. So yeah, that kind of like touches on what is the definition of art, which is like a slightly separate issue, but like very, very fascinating. Definition of art is one of those things that I'm like, well, could I ever find a way to make that interesting on YouTube? Because it's kind of a bit of a inside baseball philosophy question. So, but anyway, I maybe someday I will. This was a really interesting comment from Jose Rodriguez, who said that modern art has meaning, but that's why they don't like it, because they want classical art, because classical art has beauty. And then they made some quite interesting arguments to the effect that beauty is better than meaning, because if you have to have some kind of like, if you have to have an intellectual understanding of a work of art in order to get it, then you're potentially excluding some people. And on the surface, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. I don't quite believe you, though. So this distinction that the commenter draws between beauty and meaning, I don't think that's quite as firm as you thought it was. For instance, the commenter goes on to say that Botticelli's Venus is a painting that's always going to be beautiful, even if you don't understand the meaning or anything about the school of thought that produced it. And I don't think I agree with that. I think that if you are going to understand Botticelli's Venus, then you need to have an understanding of Greek mythology, and you need to understand like how angels and supernatural beings are depicted. You need to have knowledge of like what human women and our bodies look like. There is actually quite a lot of intellectual understanding that you need in order to appreciate the beauty. So this idea that beauty is kind of non-intellectual, like non-cognitive, I think is just not, I don't think you can separate beauty and meaning as easily as the commenter suggests here. It's also just flat out not true to say that if the birth of Venus was beautiful before, it will always be beautiful, because of course beauty standards change over time. Like if you go and look closely at Venus in Botticelli's Venus, you will notice that she does not have the body type that Venus, goddess of love and sex, might be expected to have if the painting was painted now. If Venus was painted now, we probably expect her to look as we expect beautiful women to look now, with kind of hourglass figures and like probably like big eyelashes and like not a lot of like body fat. But if you actually go and look at Botticelli's Venus, she like doesn't have any hips. She's kind of quite skinny. She's got quite small breasts. I mean, she looks trans as hell. She looks great. Like it's fantastic, but like beautiful, but like clocky core. But for real, like she does. She doesn't have the kind of like big tits and ass body that now we might associate with beauty and women. So interesting comment, but I don't think that beauty is an eternal, unchanging thing that can be entirely separated from cognitive value here. So there you go. Interesting and sort of thought-provoking comment though. People in the chat, so yeah, Zachary Thalman says in the chat that beauty is always socially constructed. And yes, true. And my point is that it always has this kind of like technical cognitive element to it. Jojo Anderson says if Venus was painted today, she'd have a fat cock. I mean, you don't know what she's hiding underneath that hand, do you? I considered doing the kind of Birth of Venus as a painting. Like, you know how I did the famous paintings? And I did the looks inspired by that? I considered doing a Birth of Venus one, but then I was like, it's probably not. First of all, I'm not blonde. And it's probably not appropriate for YouTube. And it's kind of not really my style. I was like, okay, that's probably a different YouTuber who would do Birth of Venus. Yeah, Spring Meadow remembers that fan art. That's why I said, no, I'm probably more a Portrait of Madame X type. No, I shouldn't have done Spring Meadow because it would be too easy to interpret that in the wrong way. And also YouTube wouldn't have liked that because it's like nips out. So, it's not my casting, as we say. My casting is definitely Portrait of Madame X, or Portrait of Madame XY in my case. So, yeah, it's not my style. It's somebody else's style. So, Numinous Nihil also left a really interesting comment. They said that as a black theatre goer, David Mamet's play Race really does hit different. And yeah, I bet it would. It prompted them to ask the question, why would a white playwright like David Mamet feel more comfortable telling a story in which a black woman was like a deceiving harlot who wanted demeaning racist sex, rather than one in which she was the honest survivor of a crime? Yeah, that's a good question. So if you remember, in this section of the video, I talked a little bit about the David Mamet play Race, and that is the plot that a white man is falsely accused, probably, of a horrible crime against a young black woman. And this commenter wondered, well, why isn't it a kind of politically live and active and interesting question? Why white writers would write that sort of thing? And of course, quite right. That's a very, very good point. They said that they don't necessarily think this is like a deliberate attempt by David Mamet to say something, but just that in terms of it's about storytelling and who feels most comfortable telling what sorts of stories. Which, yeah, fair point. Speaking of stories, the same commenter recommended a book called The Storytelling Animal, which quite a lot of people in my comment section recommended, and I'll probably have to check that out. Along with a video game called The Beginner's Guide, which I'm told was like Pale Fire, but a video game. So that sounds quite cool. Interesting. Badger asks in the chat, how did your play go? It hasn't happened yet. I'll talk about it later. Also, like it's like a month-long run, so we'll talk about the play in a bit. Don't worry. And then there were another kind of couple of quick fire comments that I think it's worth touching on. One of which was this by Aiditan. Aiditan says, just because there are incorrect meanings for a work of art doesn't mean that there is one correct meaning. Yes, you are quite right. Very, very clever for noticing that. I don't really have anything interesting to add other than like, yes, well done. That was a sort of deliberate, not sleight of hand, but that was something that I did kind of like overlook in the video a little bit. So yes, you are quite right. Well done. And hello there, this commenter, hello there, says they would have loved to have a discussion about the value of art, as in like what is the value of the arts generally to society. Yeah, so originally during the research phase, there was a book on my reading list that was about that, but I just didn't have time to get to it. The research phase was quite long and quite sort of in the weeds, so I just didn't have time, but I would have liked to do that. Maybe that would be a good topic for another video. Innuendo Studios did a video on the Beginner's Guide. Yes, I seem to remember that now. Alex De Winter says, curse you for getting me into Nabokov, because Arda is a very hard book to read. Yes, it is. It is. So I turned a friend on to Arda recently. That is, I got him to read it. And he sent me a text after the first 2 chapters being like, this book is absolutely impossible. And I was like, don't worry, it gets easier. It's meant to be. It's meant to be difficult. What else did we have? Oh yeah, this really interesting comment from Lyndon Westhaven, which, first of all, Tolkien-ass name, love it. And they said that they are a potter, and pottery lies at the intersection of art, craft, and product. So I was like, oh damn, that's really cool. I should have spoken to some potters. That would have been fun. And also, Rachel Collins said I should have visited or spoken about the Rothko Chapel in Houston. And yes, I'd love to go. I would love to go back to Houston one day. I used to date a girl from Houston, so I have spent some time there. But I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon, both because that relationship is no longer happening, and also because just Texas is not a great place for trans people right now. So, oh, George Lugo in the chat says, what is the value of art will be an extremely relevant question in a few more months or years when AI image generation starts to displace more jobs. Huh, yeah. That's really, really good point. I mean, yeah, I've kind of ruled out doing any more philosophy of art videos for a while because this one just kind of underperformed. But that would be cool. That would be cool. Let's write these things down. Texas not a great place generally, says Diana America Rivero. Not at the moment for trans people, no, but I really enjoyed my time in Texas. I really liked it. I had a great time there. Food was good. And also, funnily enough, my old Texan girlfriend is now, I'm now she, her, and she's now she, they. So there you go. There you go. We find each other. Fun times. Yeah. God, that feels like a lifetime ago. Wild. Californian bias, says Diana America Rivera. Yeah, California's great too. I've had some great times in California. What's my favorite American state, I wonder, of those that I visited? New York's always good. I always have fun in New York. California, a lot of variety. I've kind of been to a lot of places in California. I did really enjoy Texas. Austin's fun. Good food in Austin. I have visited Virginia, and it was very beautiful. I did enjoy it. Don't think I'll go back there for a while either. Maryland as well. I've seen a little bit of Maryland and very much enjoyed it. Where else? Sort of been all over, really. Never really been in the middle bits. Sort of been around the edges. Tennessee kicks ass. Yeah, I had an old friend who was from Tennessee, actually. I never went, though. I don't think. Yeah. Austin food, says Zachary Tharman. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Austin food. Beautiful. Beautiful. Loved it. Had such delicious food in Austin. Baltimore's one of my favorite cities, says Diana America Rivera. Yeah, I visited Baltimore a few times. I had good times there. It was very beautiful. Hey, Non-Anonymous is in chat. We just spoke about one of your comments earlier on. Hey, good to have you here. Yours was the first comment I spoke about, and thank you for that super chat as well. Washington as well. Washington in the top left. There you go. Also, just whilst I'm naming states that I enjoyed. Yeah. Hey, Non-Anonymous, that's good to have you here. McLeod2692 says, how do you feel about Keffels coming to the UK? Yeah, I think when Keffels comes here, we should meet up at some point. That would be good. That would be nice, wouldn't it? You know, give her a proper welcome. In the top left, Washington, yeah. Washington's in the top left. Bucky's malt balls. I missed that about Texas. Love those. Sustained me on many a long road trip. Yeah, maybe Cathals could give me some lessons on how to fix the audio for my stream, and then I can finally play music again. So where else? What else? Oh yeah. I had a question on Patreon from a fan. So if you are a patron of a certain level on Patreon, then you can ask me a question that I'll answer on live stream. So my patron Blue asked me, this is a very sweet question. How do I choose a new name, or how do I know that the one I've chosen is the right one? I think this is in like a transgendering context. This is a really interesting question. I mean, having only ever done it once, I guess most people only do it once, so I don't know. I just kind of I knew I wanted my name to have 3 syllables, and I kind of, it wasn't desire, I just sort of felt, I think it begins with an A. It was very much a process for me of trying to find it. And I thought for a while it might be Adelaide. I was like, is it Adelaide? Is my name Adelaide? And then I was like, no, but it's something like that. And then I was doing the dishes one day, and I was like, oh, I'm Abigail, that's my name. And it was like I was doing the dishes facing the window, and it was like it came down out of the sunlight, and I was like, oh yeah, my name's Abigail. And it was lovely, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really nice. It just sort of happened. Yeah, that was how it happened to me, really. So I guess you'll know when you know, or maybe not. I did. I knew when I felt it. I knew what my name was. And I was like, oh yeah, like it's a nice rhythm too. Abigail Thorne, bum. It's good. I did pick Thorne years before I transitioned. Yes. That I just wanted the bum. So I just thought that kind of rhythm was good. So yeah, it just sort of happened. I also didn't know anyone named Abigail, and I had never known anyone named Abigail, so it didn't have any particular baggage to me. So yeah, there you go. Bucky's is terrifying, says Nell Pepper. Yeah, but also malt balls. You know? Trans people pick a name that doesn't begin with A challenge. Yeah, fair. Let's also talk about the bibliography on this episode for a little bit. I started out reading a book by Sam Rose called Interpreting Art, which I basically just I read because I saw it recommended on Twitter. So that was nice. And then I didn't really initially know what I wanted the video to be about. Originally I thought, is it going to be about like radical art or art that had been banned? Or I was interested, because of my play, in this question of whether art can really be radical, or whether it's sort of inherently bourgeois, depending on how you do it, of course. So I was interested in that, and then I read Sam Rose, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's about the meaning of art. And I got interested in this question of like, somebody said, oh, the artwork is a statement about this, or the artwork means this. And I was like, what do you mean the artwork means this? What does that mean? What is the meaning of meaning? You know, very sort of philosophy jack-off question. But, you know, and I sort of dug into that a little bit. I wanted to look at the interpretation of art. So I read, I knew there'd be like a death of the author thing in there, so I did a little bit of reading about like death of the author. I rewatched Lindsay's old video on it, and I did a little bit of like Foucault, and I knew that sort of thing would happen. But I also delved into the Journal of Aesthetics and Art Criticism, and learned a little bit about like interpretation and artists' intentions, and how that can be kind of a difficult thing. And then I looked a little bit about the art world itself, the kind of finances of it, and I was like, oh, well, so how much does the meaning of an artwork really matter in the sort of art as commodity space? And that I sort of found the story about zombie formalism, that was what actually sort of sold me on making the video in the way that I did, because I was like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people have made videos talking about art or the meaning of art or modern art and so on, but I've never seen anyone talk about zombie formalism. And I was like, okay, it's kind of an interesting story. Let's dig in there. And I very nearly cut the section on zombie formalism and the whole Salvatore Mundi thing, because it is kind of sidebar. But I was like, no, this is kind of interesting, and it's like, cool. And then I realized, I can bring in Vladimir Nabokov, Pale Fire, which I had just read. And I was like, okay, yeah, now we kind of know where we're going here. So yeah, it all started with Sam Rose's book, actually. And then I read some more papers by Sam Rose. So that was that really. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice research phase, this one. And I also knew that I wanted to get the video out before rehearsal started for the play. So, and also I knew that I could plug Paris's book. I really enjoyed Paris's book. Genuinely, I really, really liked it. And I knew I wanted to talk about her. So you'll remember this bit where I, what window am I in? I'm in this one. You'll remember this bit where I talked about Paris's book, which I really liked. So it was nice to be able to talk about that. And yes, I do also like to find reasons to talk about Vladimir Nabokov because he's my favorite author. But there you go. Yeah, good times. Nabokov is overrated, says Diana Rebecca Revere. Get out. Banned from the chat. No, but really, it's not for everybody. But he's problematic fave, as is David Mamet, you know. And I really did do a monologue from Race at my drama school audition. I did Eddie Izzard's monologue from Race, and I got in. So there you go. Speaking of drama, as in, you know, drama with a skull, not drama like drama. My play. So we are 3 weeks into rehearsals. Here's some wine. Here's some wine. We are 3 weeks into rehearsals. It's going super well. I freaking love it. If you have questions about the prince, start asking them now, and I will answer them as best I can. Some things I can't tell you about, but I can tell you that the play rehearsal's going really well. The cast are really, really good. So good. Like, so good. The cast has already been announced, so you can check out the cast on the Southwark Playhouse website. But they are properly amazing. Fern says we need to acknowledge the fucked up way you say urinal. I'm just British. That's how we say it. There you go. What's one word that doesn't describe the play? Bad? No, for real. Like, the cast is so good. Tash, the director, is phenomenal. Tash is honestly one of the favorite directors I've ever worked for. When can we see it? Says Speedy Gonzalez. We open on the 15th of September, I think, right? Yeah, 15th. There you go. So yeah, you can come and see it when it opens if you want. Alex De Winter says, I got tickets for closing night and I'm so excited. Oh my God, well done. Closing night sold out like immediately, so well done. Actually, I have friends who need tickets for closing night, so I might contact the producers and be like, yo, can I get some of the reserved ones? Would you consider releasing the script, specifically the play script, before the London run is closed? Babes, the script is being published by like fucking Methrin Drama, so hell yeah, you can read the script. Like, yeah, you can. It's going to be published as like, I'm going to be a published playwright. Yes, you can get the script. How familiar with Henry IV should we be before we see it, says Rhiannon Davies. You don't need to know Henry IV at all. Don't worry. We'll make sure that we'll make sure that you know everything you need to know. So yeah. What was the process for finding a director? I sent an early draft of the play to a bunch of directors and then interviewed them. And I really liked Tash, and Tash was just fantastic. Like, she instantly got the play. She had all the relevant experience that we needed. We needed somebody who knew verse and knew Shakespeare, and we needed somebody who knew writing. And she was like, those two things are my specialty. So I was like, okay, fantastic. Great. There you go. What was it that inspired you to write it? If you do get the play script, there's an author's note at the start, which will tell you all about that. When will the book version of the script come out? I think it gets released when the play starts. months, I think, because I know that they want to sell copies at the theatre. So I think I should be getting the second previews like any day now from the publisher. So when will the play drop on Nebula? That I don't know, because I'm not the one filming it. It's being filmed by a professional theatre filming company, and because it's in the round, it's quite difficult to film. So that I don't know. You will find out. I'm afraid I can't tell you that. Does the play have a bibliography? No. Am I directing? No. We have Tash Rickman is our director. She's a very experienced theatre director. I am in it, and I wrote it, but I'm not the director. And I very deliberately designed the like crew structure, and like I had no say over the casting as well. Tash decided that along with the producers, and I was quite happy for her to do that. And Tash runs the room when we rehearse, as is only right. She's the director, and it's very much like a Tash Rickman production. So yeah. Are there any good jokes in the play? Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think they're good. There are jokes at least. Alex De Winter says, yes, you have the option to buy the script with the ticket and get it discounted. So yeah, you will be able to get a copy of the script when the play opens. Is it common for authors to be in their plays? Sometimes for new writing. It does happen in London, yeah. Yeah. Will it be translated into other languages? I don't know, actually. That's not up to me. I imagine the publishers will be doing that. Will there be loud music or noises? All the relevant, this is what you need to be aware of, will be on the Southwark Playhouse website. Yeah. Thank you very much, Pulis Mizando, for that super chat as well. Lena Walters, I defer to Tash a lot. There have been edits to the script and things where I actually say, I think maybe we should change it to this, or like, what do you feel about this? And I'm like, Tash is the boss. We just had a chat the other day with one of the cast who was like, oh, like I feel this about the thing, and Tash was like, yeah, cool, but this is my decision. And I was like, Tash is the boss. Tash is cool. Support Tash 100%. She's the boss. Neo Zygmunt says, are you planning on showing it anywhere else other than London? I can't talk about that. I cannot discuss that, I'm afraid. I just remembered you can't hear the music, but the music was good. My ticket for the play is 3 days before I start university. Should I still get the train down to London to see it? Yeah, I mean, don't let the ticket go to waste. If you paid for the ticket, you might as well, like... Julia Hawks Reed says, I love that you completely trust the rest of the crew. Of course I do. There's like a crew of almost 50 people working on this, like not just the cast and Tash also, but like the stage managers and like the assistant stage manager and like the set designer, the like multiple costume designers, because of course it's me, I have multiple costume designers, like the music, like at least 2 musicians, the movement director, like yeah, I really trust the crew. They're all really, really good. And it's just really, really exciting to work with them. It's also really nice that like a lot of the cast is majority trans, and there are a lot of trans people in the crew as well. So our musicians are both trans. Our casting associate is trans. Who else? Yeah, a whole bunch of people. How long were you writing the play, says Spring Meadow? I started writing it... I wrote the first draft when I was still in drama school, and then I put it away in a drawer for years and didn't come back to it. And then maybe about a year and a half ago, I came back to it and I was like, oh, there's some potential here, and I redeveloped it. And it's changed a whole lot since then. Yeah. Have you seen the costumes yet, says Amy Fist? No, but I've seen the design documents. I think we have fittings on Tuesday. So... yeah. Do you have any advice for going on stage for the first time? I'm going to try doing stand-up this year, says Little Bod. Yes, entitlement is better than confidence. That's my advice. There may be a lot of trans people in the audience too. Yes, I expect so. Is the play related to gender or transness? I don't know. It's hard to answer for reasons that you will see. But yeah. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. What kind of wine am I drinking? White. I think it's a Chardonnay that's the one left in my fridge. Yes. So yeah, that's the play. It's very, very exciting. It's exhausting. I'm going to be doing 8 shows a week, and I've got to do a lot of sword fighting, and I've also got to do some pretty big acting. There's some pretty challenging stuff that I need to do in it. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Yeah. I doubt the crowd will be as trans as the Kill James Bond live show, which was the most transgender room I've ever been in my whole life. Yeah, same actually. It was really cool how Devon was just like, transgender, and everyone was like, woo! Yeah, that was fun. How's the sword fighting training going? Good. It's exhausting, but our fight directors are both excellent, and our movement director is also sick. So yeah, that rules. It's nice to have. It's just really, really nice to have. It's really nice to have just so many talented people at my back, just being like, yeah, we'll do it. Like, we'll get it done. And it's also really, really nice to have. It's also really nice to have such a nice, safe rehearsal room. I've been on some jobs where people are like, oh, not so friendly. It's really, really nice to have like a very queer-friendly rehearsal space, as you kind of have to be because the majority of the cast are trans. So, yeah. 8 shows in 7 days. How? Because we do matinees Tuesdays and Saturdays. I will say, like, it's quite a bit of pressure. It's quite a bit of pressure being the lead as well, because I've got to make sure that I'm good. What kind of swords? All kinds of swords. You'll see. You'll see. Not little fencing ones. You will see all kinds of weapons. It's good. Random question says this side up 11. In the videos, especially lately, the citation notes are in the top center and they can be distracting. Would you move them to the bottom or the bottom right? No, because then they clash with the subtitles. They have to be at the top because otherwise hearing impaired viewers who you rely on the subtitles can't read them. So when does it take place, says the flame catcher? You mean when do we open, or when is the story set? Because I'm not going to answer the second one, but we open on the 15th. Yeah. Oh, also, I suppose, so we open on the 15th and then it ends on the 8th of October, at which point I will need a rest because I will be emotionally and physically completely exhausted. But I am hoping that the next episode of Philosophy Tube will come out late October. Fingers crossed. If I can get it organized and written whilst the play is ongoing, which I should be able to do. I've done a lot of the research already. Then October will be the next one, which I realize is a little bit of a wait, but that is what needs to happen, unfortunately, because I can't. Yeah, I've got to do 8 shows a week in theatre, so I can't be in 2 places at once. Even I have my limits. So yeah. Please answer Norm's question. What was it? I'm afraid I didn't see it. But thank you. Will there be more plays you'll write in future too? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Alicia Bergman says, what was the writing process like? Long, and I'm very fortunate that I had an excellent dramaturge. Donica O'Brien. Donica is incredible. Yeah, Donica's fantastic. Claire H says, will we be able to see you after the performance? I can't answer that at the moment. It's a complicated one, and a lot of people have messaged me that and are asking me, and I would love to be able to answer it simply and now, but unfortunately the answer is complicated and it requires liaising with producers and the venue and all of the rest of the cast and also the security company, because unfortunately my security situation is complicated. And if somebody like a stalker or somebody who doesn't mean me well tries to do something, then it puts the rest of the cast and crew at risk and the venue staff. So I need to bear in mind that my security situation is potentially a liability for the safety of other cast members. But also what we say about that publicly, we need to think very carefully about what we say and what messages get put out there. Like, so it requires, I wish I could answer that now and just tell you simply what the deal is. But I need to liaise with like the PR manager for the play and the producers and the rest of the cast and like everyone else. So it's complicated. And I wish I could just kind of give you an answer, but I can't at the moment. Hopefully soon I'll be able to talk about that. Because my instinct with these sorts of things is always to just tell people and just be honest about like, this is the deal. But unfortunately, it's not just my job on the line, it's everyone's. So yeah, sorry. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that like I live in an extremely transphobic country. The Globe Theatre recently put on a play that had one trans cast member, I think, just one. And they got like threats and had to hire additional security. And there's been plays in this country that have been shut down because of like transphobic threats. And also just like bear in mind that like right now there's like other trans internet creators who are like getting chased out of their homes and stuff. Like it's an issue, and there needs to be unfortunately like we gotta set some security boundaries. But and also like it's not just the security thing, but also like I love meeting all of you, and it's wonderful. It's like really, really nice. It's always like very lifting, and it's something I love to do. But also you gotta remember that like that is me being at work. That's me, doing my job. It's a job that I love to do, and I really like doing it. But if it's 11 o'clock at night and I've just done, 2 theatre shows and I've got another one to do tomorrow, then, with all the love in the world, I've also got to rest, because if I'm doing 2 shows and then I'm doing another kind of hour and a half afterwards because people want autographs or selfies and stuff, then I'm sure you can understand that is difficult. And I feel awful saying that because, at the end of the day, you guys are the guys who like pay my bills, and I have some sympathy with the ones who are like, actually, you know what, we do have some claim on your time, and yeah, and fair enough. But if I come out and I hang out with fans after the show every night, then I'm not going to be able to do the show. Because I need to sleep and I need to rest. And also the show is extremely emotionally demanding, and like on some nights, because of like who's coming on certain nights, it's like big career pressure. On press night, for instance, like when the reviewers are in, or like on certain nights when like, VIP guests are in, it's big career pressure. So I'll need to rest. And I hope you guys can understand that. I can tell you this, I certainly won't be able to talk to people every night, if any nights. But yeah, sorry about that. I do need to sleep. I need to have sleepy time, so that I can continue producing all the things that you like. Amy Fist says, as a Patreon supporter, I'm not expecting to have any claim on your time. You don't owe us autographs or whatever. Thank you everyone for being so supportive. It's really kind of you. And like, I recognize some of these names from Patreon, like Fox Elliott and stuff. Like, thank you. But yeah, I hope that we can do something, even if it's like, hey, for security reasons we can't do this. It's nice to be able to have like, but we can do this instead, right? So that's also what we're kind of working on behind the scenes. Is like, okay, if we can't do X, can we do Y? So yeah. Nom asks, why do so many trans people become artists? I don't know, do we? I need to see the evidence on that. Yeah. I don't know. I really like this song and you can't hear it because I still haven't sorted the sound out. Anyway, speaking of fan interactions, should we look at some fan art from the latest video? Because there was some great fan art. But first, thank you very much to Jen Vutalani, who says, I loved the art video. Would you ever do Outland with Old Man Connery? I like Outland. Maybe, if it had something interesting to say about masculinity. Maybe. All I want is a TF stream where you explain Shakespeare to Alice and Dev. Alice knows Shakespeare. Alice knows a lot about Alice played Brutus when we did the Shakespeare stream, and Alice was really, really good. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for all your supportive messages. That's really, really nice. Thank you. Thank you. So you don't think trans people are overrepresented in art, says Francisco Geronimo. I'd have to see the stats on that. I mean, I definitely think that like trans art is having a moment at the moment because like trans is having a moment at the moment. So like there's the trans play on at the Globe, and like my play too is getting there. So not the Globe, but you know, my play is getting there, as in getting close to being on. So yeah, maybe it's just a reflection of the fact that we're having a bit of a moment right now. We're kind of a hot topic, so hey, make hay while the sun shines, right? Also, I found a lot of creatives, not all, but a lot of creatives in the UK, especially in like theatre, tend to be quite kind of like soft-hearted, touchy-feely, like lovely people. So, yeah. Does being famous change the way you stand, says Sarah A. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I'm more cautious about who I stan. Yeah. No, I'm happy that we're on at the Southwark Playhouse. It was my first choice of venue because it has to be, the play has to be performed in the round, which the Globe can't do, so it couldn't be on at the Globe. Oh, I really like this music that you can't hear. That's annoying. Who would you like to play your character if not you? Ooh, that is a good question. So I do have a... Oh, I didn't think I could talk about that, actually. In fact, I can't. So, sorry, I can't answer that question. Sorry. Let's look at some fan art so that I don't have to deflect from questions I can't answer. So this one came from... Please ignore the hands on the subreddit. Cariad Francis says, what's the round? It's when the audience sit entirely around the stage. Is in like 360 degrees. So yeah, that's fun. Can you talk about your outfit, says Star Pasta. The one I'm wearing right now, it's just a red lace dress. I can't remember where I got it from. How do you do your hair, says Mr. Fist. Largely I don't. I tried to curl it tonight completely unsuccessfully and it just resisted being curled. So this is just what it naturally does. So yeah, I really liked this one. Yeah, it's really nice. Like the detail that the artist has here is like really, really nice. Oh, and the artist is in the chat as well. Hi, IDK. I think this is lovely. Like the way you've captured the lighting on my shoulder there. Like it was really, really nice. Well done. So like talented. And Waluigi, fuck! Yay! An absolute like mainstay of the Philosophy Tube subreddit like fan art bit. I really liked this Waluigi fuck. Don't be down on yourself. I think it's pretty. I think it's fun. Well done. Don't be down on yourself. I like it. Thank you. And these two are from Asteri. I love that sort of thank you so much to Thora Norak for that super chat. I love the sort of watercolory. I don't know if that's watercolory, great descriptive word. Do you know I'm a professional writer? Yeah, I love the sort of watercolory style that Asteri's given these two here. This one's lovely. Look at that. So nice. That outfit was one of my fave. That kind of orange one. And the blue hat. Loved it. I was skeptical, and then I tried the hat on and it was good. Lena Walter says, I heard that actors after a play are exhausted and often very hungry and also wired. Yeah, we are. So, especially if we've done 2 in a day, and especially if they've been as intense as mine is going to be. Yeah, act 2 of my play, I'm like, God, why did I write this? Why did I write it like this? This one was from, who's this one? Tweets of May. This one was on Tumblr. I really like this one. I love the art style. I love the kind of like slightly cartoony, I don't know art words. I love the sort of slightly cartoony texture in the hair there. It looks like I've jumped out of the Harley Quinn series, which is a lot of fun, which I'm getting quite into at the moment. So yeah, I really like this one. Fantastic. The style is gorgeous. And this one is from JP Nichts. This is really nice. This one down in the bottom right, I look kind of like Marco Robbie's Lois Lane. No. Who was the lady who played Lois Lane in Superman 1978? Who was that? I'm getting confused with the woman who played Harley Quinn, aren't I? Anyway, I look like 1978 Lois Lane down in the bottom right. Which is nice. All of these look good. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, these people are so talented, like artists, man. Art. Christopher Reeve played Superman. Who played Lois Lane? Margot Kidder. Thank you, Amy Fist. You win 10 points. 10 Philosophy Tube points, which you can redeem for clout. There you are. Gene Hackman played like, shut up. Margot Kidder. Marco Robbie is Harley Quinn, right? Right? Something like that. Anyway, wine's good, isn't it? Yeah. That would be a fun role, wouldn't it? Lois Lane. I wouldn't mind playing that role. I have a friend who's very much like Lois Lane. She's a journalist and very kind of like peppy and chaotic, and I'm like, oh, very much Lois. She's my Lois friend. I'm trying to set her up with my Clark Kent friend, but yeah. Alfred Molina. Shut up, Super Dark 33. It wasn't Alfred Molina. You don't know what you're talking about. Okie dokie. Why don't we hang out for another 10 minutes? And then I'm going to have a bit of a rest because I've got to be up at 6:30 tomorrow to go and do sword fighting. And I realise this is very sort of first world girl problems, but I've broken 2 of my lovely nails having sword fights. And this one's, I really broke it down to the quick as well. It's painful. And it ruined my nice manicure. I already had to get my acrylics off so I could hold the sword, and now I've snapped them. Are there plans for merch for Philosophy Tube and the Prince? Yes, I need to contact my agent because they designed a bunch of Philosophy Tube merch recently. I need to get on them and say, hey, what's the deal? And I would like that to be Prince merch. Actually, I need to contact the producers about that. I know there was a plan. There was a plan to have like a little bit of merch. We don't want to kind of go too much and be like selling, t-shirts in the lobby and stuff. And we also have to clear it with the venue and so on. But I think there are plans. That's very much the producers department, not mine. I'm just the acting department now. I wrote it and now the script is finalized. I'm like, hey, I just got to act in it now. The rest of it, just ask the producers. They'll sort it all out. I'll just text them. What's going on? But yeah. Oh no, the swords plural are much chunkier than the one in the poster. Oh my God. Oh. Diana America Rivera. Wow. Thank you. I mean, that's gonna pay for a few manicures. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that investment super chat. That's phenomenal. Gosh, that's a lot of money. Thank you. I'm sort of a bit stunned there. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit sort of a little broken there. Investment. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. You're always so generous, Diana. Every time we do a live stream, I'm very grateful. I want to. You're taking care of yourself, I hope, as well. That's an awful lot. Not that I don't appreciate it, but I hope that you are, taking care of yourself first there. Gosh, thank you again. You make me cry now. And thank you very much to Karina Freeman as well. I'm trying to remain professional now. Thank you very much to Karina Freeman. When was the Shakespeare stream? It was years ago. It starred my brother. My brother was in it. So yeah, among other YouTubers. So, gosh. Well, thank you, Dinah, as long as you're taking care of yourself as well. Wow. Well, I think maybe I'll put on the music that we like to end the streams with now. Not that you can hear it, but it gives me a good idea about timing. But yeah, I'm really excited for the play. I hope I can see some of you there. Was the Shakespeare stream recorded? Yes, it was. It was. Again, you will find a different actor in it, but it is available somewhere. I remember. Oh God, it was like a blur. All of it. I remember through this sort of weird other life filter of having transitioned. But I remember Mara Wilson being my Lady M. I remember a production of Romeo and Juliet. That was a lot of fun. Gosh, that all feels like so. Yeah, time and gender and the way my life has changed, the way my friendships have changed. It's like eating somebody else's Madeline. Wild. Amazing. But yes, I'm really excited for the play. I hope that I get to see some of you there. I'll probably see you from the stage. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's gonna be a big moment. I hope. It's a big potentially a big career thing, maybe. I don't know. If it goes well, if it's good, people like it. So nervous and pressure. I feel responsible for, the crew and cast and the directors. They're all professionals and they're responsible for themselves, of course. I don't want to patronize them, but I like to I want them to be happy and for it to be a good job for them and for their careers to go well as well. It's not just about me, and I tried to write the play in such a way that everyone in the cast gets a chance to really flex what they can do. And yeah, I hope to see some of you there. See you on stage. I still don't really believe it yet, because the last play I was involved in was Dracula, and we had to close a week before opening night because of COVID, and it never happened. So I still don't really believe it yet. It's amazing to have such I'm realizing this as I say it. It's amazing to have so many talented people, not just cast, but, you know, Tash and the producers, everyone. It's amazing to have so many talented people in my corner and being like, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. And we believe it. And also, like, you know, the sponsors, the like Nebula and Curiosity Stream, to have them say, we believe in you and we'll put the money down so that you can do it. I'm like, I remember the meeting we had with the executive producer, and we were like, we need this much money. And he was like, okay, cool. And we were like, you don't want to read the script first? And he was like, Fabi says it's good. I'll put the money down. And I was like, whew. It's, yeah. Break a leg, me. Okie dokie. It is time to go and have a bit of a rest before I go to bed. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much to everyone who super chatted. I love these little streams. I love them. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I will see some of you at the theatre, and I'll see the rest of you on Philosophy Tube. Oh, by the way, the next episode of Philosophy Tube, the one that's coming out